the gorge, even in the front of the treasury. And nearby the treasury, there's a Bedouin show. Plus, you hear for a short explanation from one of the local guides here in Petra. Tonight you see Petra by your heart, honestly. Yeah. Now we have it like every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 nights a week, definitely. So tonight, it has a different ticket. It costs each one 12 dinars. Tickets are available everywhere. All what you need just to come into the visitor center around 8:15.
8 o'clock.
Yes, because before the program they give the clients some indications, instructions about the tour, and then you start the tour with the group. Sometimes we look more than 300 people. Well, yes. Where do you stay? In which hotel? Petra again. Yes. You ask. They sell some stores. Yes, they sell them. So for all of you, like 30, 60 dollars. So from 8:30 till 10:30, definitely. This is very important. Exactly. Yes. So you are lucky because it's it's Thursday, so we have to show. So this is downtown, forget. I mean, Moses Valley. It's a good location, actually. Well, so as I mentioned before, it says about the water system in Petra. We see over here more water dams from both sides. You see them? These are restored, reconstructed. I mean, even which means in the Balkans used to build these water dams at the ancient time to protect the Petra from a flash flood. Now for the pictures, let me show for you the business spot here on the gorge where they started the movie of Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade.
Where they started.
Now, sirs, this is really the business spot on the gorge where they started the movie of Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. Now, where you see also, in front of you, there's such a bigger crack. This is a good proof that this is a natural canyon. It's not a man-made, definitely. So I recommend you to watch the movie again after your visit to Petra, so you can imagine all these events much better. For the pictures, just especially on the gorge itself, try to take them on vertical way to show all these dimensions. Usually, this is very important, definitely. So as you see, seriously, that these colors here, they change from time to time. So it depends about light, sun, whatever it is. What you see over here, another holy shrine, another niche. Where you see inside there is an idol. Now this is a symbol of the god. I mean the main god of this tribe, THRU, the god of mountains. Will you see the other side now, please? So if you come closer. This is, the second water pipe, water aqueduct. Was built by Roman people on the 2nd century after Christ, and this pipe was built with a ceramic. It was covered, closed. That Romans used water here as a drinkable water for human use. And where we are standing now, this is the original Roman road. The Romans pavement made with limestone. You see that limestone is harder than sandstone, and here in Petra, all what we have here on this region is a sandstone. We have no limestone. The Romans brought the limestone from Ma'an. This is a Jordanian city nearby Petra. Like
Amman.
I mean, this is sandstone. It's soft, and this is very hard. I mean, limestone. In Petra, we have no limestone. The Romans brought it from Ma'an, nearby Petra, 20 kilometers maybe. Next by Petra. Now, that's why sirs, imagine when we talk about this level. Now, this level was, discovered very recent. 13 years ago. I mean, if you've been here 13 years ago, you couldn't see these things.
13?
Yes, 1-3. So all these things were covered with the sand.
So they've
definitely, yes. So which means between 1995 till 1998, we were digging here on the gorge, and we have found this level.
Wow.
I mean, that's why when we talk about Petra, all what we have discovered in Petra till this moment is just 20%. 80% from the site still undiscovered. We have a lot of continuous excavations from time to time to find more things here. So all what we have seen before, nearby the map of Petra is just 20%. Well, so we have actually excavations. Also these excavations, organized by, Brown University and Oxford University. Excuse me? Oxford, oh, really? Great. So, the second, thing, sir, is why do these, excavations start in the summertime? Even it's too hot, actually, because this is suitable time. It's a low season, no tourists, no rain, no snow. Especially, in 2008, in August was, we have the highest temperature in Georgia. It was like 53 degrees, more than 126 Fahrenheit. But for me, April, it's the best month to visit Petra, honestly. Yes, exactly. So this is really, really great. I mean, in the summertime, June, July, August, September, even October, honestly, with the weather, you cannot adapt, you cannot enjoy if you visit Petra. Really.
Thank you.
So, April, May, it's fine also.
Yeah.
That's why, in these days, usually we have a high season here.
Would you know what that?
The nervous part, we will see it later on. Not this part, definitely. Later on, I will show you the nervous part here on the gorge. And as you see, this road was built with a cement, also 10 years ago.
Would you know what that strata would be? Those two stratas there?
Here.
Because there's a darker strata going through
Well,
there.
this is, we talk about this color specific. Even if you look behind you, sirs, you see that, to the left-hand side is darker than, this part, which means here you find such a big percentage of a mineral iron. This is, a mineral iron, I mean, when you mix this mineral with water, we call this an operation like outside. Actually, we find, usually black color here, mineral iron.
It's all to do with the minerals, isn't it?
Exactly. So sandstone, by the way, consists of several minerals: iron, copper, magnesium, silicon. When you mix these colors, with the wind, with the rain, water, you find a lot of natural beautiful colors. And this is one of the most attractive things in Petra. That these colors. By the way, we call it the rose red city.
That's right.
That red or a pink color is a major one. Now, to see this color, it depends sometimes at what time do you visit Petra. That the best moment to imagine this color before the sunset time, in 1 hour maybe, so you discover this color specific. Now, sirs, as I told you before, another holy shrine, where inside there is an idol, this is for God himself. By the way, if you come closer, please, you see that the Baptists, with this God, they carved the God, where you find to the right, to the left-hand side, they carved section, the God with his arms.
Oh, arms.
Yes. What does that mean? That he was welcoming all the traders at that time. So just to show for you that Petra was a peaceful area for all the civilizations.
All civilizations.
Exactly.
Did you say the Romans actually living here?
Yes, but we will see. By the way, sirs, the Romans, they never lived on the caves.
Not on the caves?
They didn't live on the caves, yes, actually. I will show for you later on. You get near by the Roman road, the Community Street, in the midst of the Roman residential. I won't talk about Jordan. I mean, it's a small country, but it's rich with the history. But this is, Petra, it's, main Jordanian treasure, actually. Exactly. Yes. Right, so this way, please. That this is the old holy path in Petra. So wherever you walk on the gorge, you find different holy shrines and niches, whatever. So let's just wait for my colleague till he finish with his clients. I'll show for you this niche.
Ici c'est la phase de Sierra, là c'est le Azza, là
This is one of the, main holy niches here through the gorge where you find inside that we have two idols. Look to the first one here, it was carved for the god himself, Dushara. Now the most important thing that the Nabateans here, they carved this god, they give him like human features, where you see his squared eyes, his nose, he has no mouth. They use the squared eyes, big eyes, which means that this god is able to be able to see people wherever they go, definitely. Now, exactly. So, beside him, they carved his wife, Alazza. She's the goddess of fertility. She doesn't have these features. No. Why? Because he's the main god, so he should be the only one who can have these, features. This is the best way now to distinguish between the main god, the other gods and goddesses. These are the Nabatean typical, capitals, right? And this is, as you see on top, one of the Greek and Roman influences of Petra. This is what we call it like a dark phrase, circus with lines, which means that life as a circle or medallions.
No end.
So, exactly. There's another life after. You see this hole over here was used like a Nabatean altar, as a Nabatean altar, animal sacrifice. But by the way, after the last excavation we have done on the road, this hole was covered with the sand. And then we have found inside a lot of frankincense pieces. So we changed our theory about this hole. The Nabateans used it to wash themselves with the holy water mixed with the frankincense.
It was animal sacrifice.
Right? No, it was animal sacrifice.
Right?
So, but basically, when we, this hole was covered with the sand, and then we have found inside the frankincense pieces. So we changed our theory that, they used it to wash themselves with the holy water mixed with the frankincense. I think this is a sort of purification at that time. Definitely.
So this is Greek.
No, this is in Nabatean. This is in Nabatean, actually, yes. So it goes back between 200 BC till 280 definitely. So the problem, according to the big shortage for the written documents, I cannot give you such a certain dates of these, monuments.
Where did the Nabateans come from?
We mentioned from Yemen, originally from Yemen, from Arabia.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay. So if you're looking about this altar, you see all the colors here much better.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is it to be eroded? So wherever you walk in Petra, you might find a lot of natural formations. I need you to look just carefully at this rock, where you see it looks like a fish.
It does, yes.
But if you walk farther down, you see something else.
Yeah, it's like a fish.
Now from here, you see something different. Well, keep looking to the same, rock, where you see it looks like an elephant.
Oh yes, no, it looks like an elephant. The trunk, the eye.
Looks like an elephant, so this is a natural formation.
That's natural formation. Okay. It does, doesn't it?
What's she started?
This is a Roman road.
Well, this is the Roman road, like what we have seen before. By the way, just watch your steps when you walk on this one. It's
Not
fun.
uneven, yeah. Watch this.
Imagine, try the carriage on this road, unbelievable.
Bumpy.
Right, so.
So obviously, all this stuff comes through, but you can come through on the car.
Well, that's all. But all the option, you can use it through the coach, just carriage right, that's all.
Yeah, well, of course, it used to come through.
Yes.
Your man came
So by the way, sir, this one was used for Roman buggies. The wheels, Roman chariots, this one. Now, the wheels of those buggies made with steel and iron.
Yeah.
You see here, one of the carriage marks and Petra.
Yeah, they did go into the chariot.
Have you seen Jarash? One of the Roman cities in Jordan, 45 kilometers south of Amman. Actually, so it's a Roman city. You find another road similar to this one. Yeah, you find a lot of signs of these, carriages. These are more water dams, as you see it restored, reconstructed.
We've got the bamboo here.
This is a bamboo also.
Careful there.
Be careful, I need the bamboo. You got two?
Yeah.
With the bamboo.
You can see the northwest point through the gorge.
Narrowest. Somebody could hide in there.
Right, so as you have seen before on this side, this is what we call it Sabinus Alexander station. I'm not talking about Alexander the Great. I'm not talking even about his son. This is another one. Now Alexander, Sabinus Alexander, he's the religious head celebrations or the master of ceremonies who was living in THRU, south of Syria. This is our border with Syria, definitely. On the 1st century before Christ, 100 BC, this guy was invited to Petra by the Nabatean king Aretas IV. There was like an annual festival. It was called Dusaria. This is like big conference on the religion at that time. So when Sabinus came to Petra, Nabateans, they wanted to honor him for this visit. That's why they carved this niche and they give it this name, Sabinus Alexander. Exactly. You see inside there is a dome as a semicircle which indicates into THRU where Sabinus came from. Right? So for me, it has another idea, another indication that this is such a big sign of religion's freedom. That people at that time were free to choose any religion. That's why you see this shape nowadays on the churches, on the mosques. So it's an ancient idea exactly, came since long time definitely. Look to the second niche. You find that they carved two animals inside. These are bulls or oxen. If someone is standing in the middle, it's named after the Dusha. These were used like halaboy, symbol halaboy, like symbolic animals of the Greek people. Yes, exactly. You see, exactly, under this niche you see one of the Greek inscriptions. So as it fell, this inscription about his, visit to the temple. Keep a look into the third one, where you find that we have three idols inside. So the second idol, that one in the middle, was used for God himself, Dusha. The first one for his wife, which is the goddess of fertility, and the third one for his mother, Anna. She is the goddess of commerce or trade. So this is now, usually, when we think about this, apart from the city, we are interested about the main god Dushara, his wife, his mother, Allah, and Abuza. Now, seriously, most of the ancient civilizations had the belief about the tree of life. The Nabateans, they had this tree. It was an olive tree. An olive tree. I want to show for you something.
Looks suspect.
Can you keep looking carefully to this niche? You see inside the top of this shrine, there's a tree.
Olive tree at the top.
This is the tree of life of Nabateans.
Can you see it? At the top, there's the olive tree. Tree of life.
Before, we have seen actually a lot of holy shrines. They give us such an evidence that Petra really was used as a holy city. And now to show for you that this was one of the main caravan stations all over the world. Those guys did for us one of their caravan sarais, where you see all these statues, such a as a statues. If you come closer, please, you're able to see statues. You see, this is the first camel, the second camel, the third camel. You see his front legs, his back legs, his body is up. Unfortunately, some of these parts have been avoided by it. And these statues were discovered very recently according to the last excavation we have done on the board. Well, the most important thing now, if you look into all these camels, you see the leader of this caravan. How does he look like? He's similar to Greeks or Romans. Look at his dress made of silk. You see his leather sandal. You see this guy is leading these camels to Petra itself. Well,
See the feet?
yes, you see his front and back, this is body is somewhere. Now, please just come to this spot now. I'll let you show you something also. So as like what we have seen before, that these camels are going down to Petra itself. Now, behind you, please, 2 meters, as you see here, we see more camels, right? Now, you see, this one, these camels are going out, we have seen before, in. Just, an idea about indication in and out, about the direction, definitely. So that these camels use Petra for 2 ways at that time. So, right, so these camels were discovered as addition for very recent. Well, now most of the archaeologists, they think that these camels were bequested to, required, to pass the gorge, because when you lead them to pass the canyon, it's easy for Nabateans to collect the taxes at that time. Except one of the archaeologists, so he has a different theory. I agree with him sometimes that these camels never used to pass Petra, because this is a holy city. And it's really strange to find animals passing, walking, whatever, through a holy site. So we find different theories about this city in fact. Imagine, sirs, that each camel is able to drink 100 liters of water in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's like a dromedary, isn't it?
This is also what we call him a dromedary.
Yeah.
With 1 hump.
That's right, yeah. So that's why they have the water system then?
Yeah.
So the camel can drink.
Of course, yes. So it's a big request actually. It's a big request.
Understand why?
You are right, yes. So we are talking about that camels with the trainers, whatever. See here now, sirs, as I told you before, we call it the rose-red city. I mean, from here you can imagine that pink or red color is a major one here in Petra. And this is something, as I told you before, about camels before. Even here in Jordan, in the 1950s, most of the Bedouin tribes use these camels for marriage, like a dowry nowadays. So we give, exactly dowry, like gold, money, whatever. Bedouins use the camels at the ancient time. They mention the number of these camels depends on if she's smart, polite, beautiful, whatever she deserves, 10, 20, 30, whatever. And they mention on the Jordanian heritage, one of the Bedouin daughters, she got like 1,000 camels. Nowadays we live this tradition. We didn't use it anymore because the camels are really expensive. That each camel costs between 3,000 up to 5,000 American dollars. Well, so I remember, like 1 year ago, I was with a group. It was an Italian group. So, one of my group, she was a lady, and she asked me how many camels did I pay for her. So I paid 500 camels, and she was happy. But her husband, he was looking to me, and he said, no, this is too much, have a camel enough. So she was mad, upset all the time. By the way, with the Italian clients, I don't mention this traditions. I speak Italian language, I'm working as an Italian-speaking guide also. Well, but with Italians, I don't mention this tradition, because most of the Italian ladies, they start to ask me directly how many camels do they deserve.
They're a bit vain.
And this way, I make a lot of trouble.
Yeah, so you stay clear.
She walk on there.
See, I told you.
I'm also serious.
Yeah.
And also this one, I mean, restored with exactly. Even nowadays, we expect some of this. I'm working here in Petra City, and I've seen all these other cases. I've seen this many times. But usually, when we receive a lot of flash floods, we get a lot of formations, and instructions from the visitor center that we should, move out directly from the site. So sometimes we should figure out about, weather itself before we get down to Petra. Right, so now after a long walk from the main gate to here, we just finished the gorge. We are going to see the treasury, the most beautiful facade in Petra. I'm sure you have seen it before on the TV, on the internet, on the brochures, but it doesn't matter. Even on the movie of Indiana Jones. Today it's something totally different when you see it directly. In fact, now all what you need just to move a little bit to the left-hand side, the facade will be visible for all of you. That you can take pictures from this corner. Then we walk farther. Well, that we can see everything. I will give you an explanation about the treasure. Then you will take free time to take more pictures. Well, please just move a little bit to the left-hand side. You see it, the treasure. This sadly will take free time, 5-7 minutes more if you'd like to take more pictures. Now I have here David Roberts' collection. Right, by the way, this is the treasury, the most beautiful monument here in Petra. It's one of the Nabatean royal tombs. It goes back to 100 BC, specific 4929 BC. Was used for the most famous king of the Nabateans, Aretas IV.
Right.
But the question is, why do we call it the treasure? People, they think this is the place which used as a bank or the place which used to keep a treasure, money, gold. This has never happened. The name was given by local tribes. People who were living here in Petra, they thought that once the Egyptian king Pharaoh was living here in Petra, when he left this site, he left his treasure where? On the jar. Look into the highest spot of the treasure, you see the jar on the top. So Lucas, they thought there was such a treasure, money, gold inside of that jar. That's why they were shooting it with the machine guns. That's why we call it the treasure. You see some of these holes here from this, that they were shooting everywhere. In fact, by the way, this is completely wrong. It's a solid jar, nothing inside. I would like now to explain for you from the top to the bottom according to the Nabatean column. This jar, one of the Egyptian influences in Petra, that the old Egyptians used those jars to keep the ashes inside. 4 eagles here. 1, 2, 3, 4 eagles with broken heads. Those are one of the Greek influences in Petra, and they give us another representation of soul climbing. That the soul of a leader would be taken by those eagles to heaven. 2 broken bediments, Greek influence. Sun disk. This is an Egyptian influence. You see here 2 women with, statues with wings. Those are angels, and they give us another representation of soul climbing. And all these statues here, we call them the warrior Amazons or the dancer Amazons from the Greek mythology. That those women, once they used to cut the right part from their chest to throw the arrows. From Greek mythology, this is another representation of the goddesses of victory. One of the Greek goddesses, Tulos. She's the goddess of fertility, which gives people more babies. That's why she's a naked goddess here.
I see,
These are Corinthian columns, like we have seen before. Look at the first floor stairs where you see here we have 30 flowers as small circles. What does that mean? 30 flowers. The days of the month. 30 days of the month.
That's the Greek calendar, isn't it?
Greek pediment. Crown statue. It's the Egyptian goddess Isis or Isis. She's the goddess of victory.
Isis.
Yes. Another Babylonian goddess, Ishtar or Atargatis. She's the goddess of fertility with agriculture. Exactly. Agriculture. Look into the Greek pediment. 7 golden cups as standing cups. Count them. 7 cups.
7.
7 days of the week.
Yeah, that's right. God,
5 pillars, and this is catch.
5, yeah.
Otherwise, nowadays you see 6 pillars. So originally those were 6 pillars, but the third one from the left-hand side
Collapsed.
originally was broken. So it has been
replaced
replaced.
it. In this
That's why
original he painted
this picture was painted by David Roberts on 1830.
Yeah.
So imagine what the vision and how this look like.
Yeah.
You see here 2 horses with 2 riders.
See that?
Those are the Greek gods Zeus or Zeus sons, Castor and Pollux.
Yeah.
They give us another representation of solid climbing.
Yeah.
Inside, we have found 3 graves, tombs. One was just for the king, the second one for the queen, and the third one for his son. We have 2 small rooms here. We call each one like chamber. You know,
Chamber.
yes, where they had a lot of ceremonies, celebrations, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, under the treasury itself, this is one of the most important discoveries in Petra. We have found another level, another tomb under the treasury 7 years ago. 5 years after we discovered that level, we changed our theory about the treasury.
Right.
That the treasury itself was used as a Nabatean temple, the lower part as a royal tomb. Because we have found on the lower part 11 bodies.
11 bodies. So that was the tomb
Exactly.
underneath.
And we left those bodies inside. Look here, you'll find that we have like footprints.
Oh yeah, going up
I
here.
told you before, Nabateans used to carve those stones from the top to the bottom. Now, these ones were used for a scaffold.
Oh, scaffold, that's how they got up there.
Like a wooden scaffold, tables, and then took it down to make it from the top to the treasure. It's 42 meters high, 18 meters
That's how
wide.
they did all that. Yeah.
The question is how long did the Nabateans take to make this facade? At least 50 years to make it 50.
50, yeah.
How many people did participate to make it? No one knows. No answer actually. The most important thing is this belongs to 100 before Christ. It's a sandstone. But how come? When you look to the treasury, still well-preserved monument. By the way, with the sandstone, we don't use any chemical treatment to preserve it from the natural elements. The Nabateans were smart people from the beginning. When they choose this location to carve it, that the treasury was carved at the opposite side of the rain. So when it rains,
It doesn't go.
the rain comes nearby the facade, exactly, doesn't go to the
Like a
facade.
sheet.
Exactly. Now shows one of the latest theories that Nabateans of this facade could be used as a solar calendar, where you see
Solar
6
calendar, yeah.
plus 6, 12 months,
Yeah.
7 cups days of week, 30 flowers days of month, 4 eagles, 4 seasons. There's something missing, 365 days.
Yeah.
These footprints.
What, they come to that?
Right, so this is what they believe, one of the, like solar calendar of Nabateans at that time.
Yeah.
Now look at this picture. There you can imagine there was like a river, water, green area, so combined with nowadays
Married,
big change on the nature here in south of Jordan happened, between 1905 up to 1908. Series once, Jordan was conquered by Ottoman Empire for a long time. I'm not sure if you read about El Hijaz Railway of the train, which sends from Turkey, Istanbul, all the way to Mecca, crossing Jordan. That they used that train to transport soldiers, weapons, whatever at that time. Unfortunately, here in south of Jordan, we had more than 1 million trees around Petra. Yes, they cut those trees to make the sleepers of the train.
Sleepers, that's why
This is what changed all the nature here in south of Jordan.
So up until
Then you had erosion.
1905, it was like that. The greenery and
Yes. So this is what I heard from my grandfather. Before
the memory
that
of
day
the
was such a green area, water was available than nowadays. But this is such a an event which changed all the nature in our life. That's why 70% from Jordan is desert.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So no fertility, it's not that fertile area, no water resources. Well, this is now shows all the story of this facade. That's Nabatean temple plus royalty. The name, as I told you before, was given just by local tribes according to their belief of that jar, but this is never, there was nothing. Well,
So there's nothing else in there, and you can't go in there.
no, basically, as it's a closed facade, no one is allowed to go in serious because it has been eroded by visitors, right? But it's not that deep hole. Really, it's not that deep hole. Well, that you can just go, I mean, nearby the facade to try to push that level. I mean, under the treasure itself. So you take 5 minutes every time, 7 minutes, whatever, for pictures. And this will be gathered, you know, that part, you know, by those pictures. Actually, I will be waiting for you in 7 minutes. Right? Well. 5 cents. And 180 was used for the Nabatean king Aritas IV. You remember the treasure says was used for the same king.
Yeah.
So how come that he put actually 2 facades in Petra? Because he was the only Nabatean king who married 2 wives. So the treasury was used for the king with the queen, and that one was used for a second wife, I mean a second queen. Because the royal tombs were used for kings or queens, in fact. And then you see still the last facade from the left hand side. That one, it's the largest tomb in Petra. We call it, the last one from the left hand side, we call it the palace tomb, which is similar to, looks like a Roman palaces. Has 3 levels, 3 floors actually, it says. And that one was carved between 100 AD to the 2nd century AD, was used for the last king of the Nabateans, Rabil II. Rabil II. Now, I mentioned for you like 4 kings. Aritas the 1st, the 3rd, the 4th, and Rabil II. I didn't mention Aritas the 2nd, I didn't mention Rabil the 1st, I didn't mention Rabil the 3rd, whatever. Nabateans, you know, that tribe, I will listen, we'll talk about Petra, more than 10 up to 12 kings, they ruled this city. On the archaeology, even on the history, we are interested about those 4 leaders because each one he ruled the Nabateans for a long time, more than 25 years. This is a duration.
The others were very short.
The others short, less than 5 years. So we delete them from our list when we talk about the Nabateans. So I mean, 5 years you cannot do any achievement definitely in 5 years. This is short time definitely. The second thing says that all these names of these facades were given by local tribes. I mean, we have no idea what did the Nabateans call these tombs at that time. You know, according to the big shortage. So most of these names were given by local tribes. But you see, at this part from the city, compared to what we have seen before, I gave you such a certain dates, and I gave you name of leaders. Now, how come compared to what we have seen before? Even we have no inscriptions here. But we are lucky, says, because very recent in south of Saudi Arabia, we have found another Nabatean city. It goes back to the 3rd century before Christ. We call it Al-Hagar or Mada'an site. It's similar to Petra, copy-paste of Petra, but it's a smaller. I mean, for me, Petra is more beautiful, but that's it, it's more important. Why? Because the Nabateans, they recorded their history in the way. We have found 152 Aramaic inscriptions. So they give us more details about the Nabatean life. So nowadays about the history, even when we have any excavation here, but we have no written documents, we send the team to Saudi Arabia to compare.
And then they can
in Saudi Arabia, we have found 4 facades are similar to these ones.
So
they have the same structure, exactly. We have found some of these inscriptions inside of those facades, so that's why, you know, I give you more details maybe on this part from the city, you know. Seriously. Let me tell you the best question. I have gotten my job since 7 years as a tour guide. I remember like 3 years ago I was with a group, and they were like 25 people. After long explanation about those facades, one of my group he asked me a question. I thought he was kidding, but he was serious. You know, this guy, he thought that King Hussein was buried here in Petra, and he asked me where's his tomb. when I discovered that he was a serious one, I told him the third tour. So he believed me and he went up there to see that, honestly. So he thought this was private cemetery for royal family, and I'm not talking about this. The surprise that the second day there was a tour into the Dead Sea, and he thought it was like a fishing tour on the Dead Sea. This is which made me disappointed, honestly. Well,
Which country did he come from?
well, they were from Italy actually. So, and let's say 3 months ago, I met, you know, two guys. They came from Elat border. And since I met them, they had a postcard, and it was written down like a Jordanian limousine camel with 6 humps. And those guys, they expected that we had this camel in Jordan. Actually, after a long day in Petra on the way back, before we arrived into the airport in 10 minutes, I asked them about their feedback for the tour. They told me that everything was really excellent, but they were unhappy because they couldn't see that camel with 6 humps. So I told them if they visited Jordan next time, they would see an elephant with 3 trunks. Sometimes, you know, it was fine actually. So, I mean, a friend of mine, he's working as a Russian-speaking guide. He was with the 30 people. They came from Russia, and they came actually. The problem that they came to Jordan for a longer program for 11 days. The last day, you know, they were on the way to the airport, and one of his clients asked my colleague a question. Even my colleague, he thought that this guy, you know, was joking, but he was serious. So the question of that guy was, why did we call our country Yemen? So after 11 days, he couldn't recognize that he was in Jordan. He was flying over Jordan.
But it makes you smile.
You must have a chuckle at night.
You must laugh.
You know, for us as tour guides, definitely, when I get one of these silly questions, definitely, you know, I have to control, honestly. You know, even I don't like to show this for the clients. You know, this is a main technique. I mean, when we talk about the tour, I mean, guidance itself, that doesn't mean, you know, in knowledge, in language, whatever. Even you should use your communication skills with the clients. You know, for me, I can evaluate my clients from the first, you know, moment. You know, which target of the clients. Some of them, they come, you know, either for pictures. Some of them, you know, they prefer to hear a lot of history, a lot of information. Actually, you know, informations are available everywhere. You find them in the box, wherever. But when you join the guide, I mean, the tour guide, definitely, this is something different. That, you know, our explanation, you know, I mean, some of these informations, I'm sure you cannot find them on the box, even on the references, definitely. Especially we are locals from this area, so it makes sense sometimes exactly with the clients, honestly. Now that's why, you know, for myself, that I will follow, you know, one of those masters program, you know, and God willing, in a few years, my research will be about, you know, Nabatean women. I choose this field specific. Why? Because yes, we have found in Petra more than, you know, 1,500, you know, Nabatean oil lamps. Yes, unfortunately, we have found a lot of signs, and those, you know, oil lamps, most of them are erotic, you know, signs. And that's why most of archaeologists, you know, mention that this is maybe was a main position of women just for a sexual life. This is completely wrong. This is what I'm going to do in my research. I will change this idea, definitely, to find the truth, that those women used to participate in several things, like men even, you know. So that's why I will collect a lot of oil lamps, definitely. That doesn't mean, a main theory maybe to use these erotic signs on these oil lamps, just to give, you know, people that, you know, a part of life tonight, when you use something like this with this, you know, I mean, to use these erotic signs, especially tonight, which gives people, you know, more energy, a good sense, that's all. But that doesn't mean to say, you know, that this was a main position of Nabatean women at that time, you know, no, basically. So there was a justice, I'm sure, between women and men at that time, honestly. To find the justice between all of them, definitely. You know, the truth, all of them were living as sisters in one home.
They got on well.
Exactly. So they've never been jealous, whatever. Nowadays, I'm sure, if you're going to get married, even another wife, sure, that will cause a lot of problems, you know. But, you know, because a main target to get married, maybe another wife was, you know, but those guys were looking to bring a lot of hands, a lot of children to help them, especially in harvest time, olive time, whatever. Nowadays, actually, something totally different. Even to get married another wife, this is really expensive. It costs a lot of money, definitely. So, but I don't know. I think, you know, all of them were living, you know, I mean, as a sisters actually. So, but nowadays actually it's
And probably over the centuries, that's what they accepted. See, that happened. So they got on well, they looked after each other's children, they all had jobs to do. So
Exactly,
it made
yes.
life a bit easier. And yeah, so you've got to look at it in a different light, haven't you? Culture. Because now we can't sort of understand it how we are with all that. That's not right. But, yeah, you've got to look at it from a different viewpoint.
yes, yes. You know, even for them actually. I mean, if you sit with a lot of locals.